Doug, tell us about the business. When did it start? What does it do?
So we started in 2001, and in a nutshell, Elevate teaches students how to study. I think one of the assumptions that's always been made is that students know how to study, and if most of us think back to when we were in high school, we kind of fumbled our way through it, and I was exactly like that. I through a process of trial and error, got some things right, got some things wrong. Got into university, and it was only really when I was at university that I actually learned how to study, and I learned these kind of learning to learn skills. And so about 3 years into the degree, I thought I would have loved to have known. But now, what I know now, I wish I had have known when I was back in year 12, and we were young and stupid enough to say, well, let's start a business. And so yeah, we did it. We started off by doing a year's research to find out how the top students studied. So based on the hypothesis that the top students don't get the top results because they're smarter than anyone else, but rather they do certain things in their study to get their results. And from that research, we ended up identifying things that the top students did. We turned that into a seminar program that we now run with 750 schools around Australia, the UK, South Africa, with 120,000 students.
So your clients are not the students, it's the schools that get you in.
Yeah, exactly right. Our client's the school, and I guess our mandate at the school is really not only to teach the students how to study, but also to help the school improve their ATAR results or their HSC, VCE performance.
So the whole My School strategy of governments and comparing schools works well for you, because schools have got to keep improving those results for funding.
Yeah, exactly right. I think there definitely is a high level of accountability and transparency now, that schools who are performing well want to keep performing well, and obviously schools who don't necessarily have the same rankings on the websites, they want to drive it up. And so it's a way to be able to actually do that, to be able to provide the students with the skills, but also to be able to say to the parent body and the wider community, look, we are targeting improvement at the school.
So you started the business at uni, now it's built into a major business with 700 school clients here in Australia, but expanded into the UK and South Africa. Why did you go offshore?
Really, it was probably serendipity. One of our staff members had actually worked in the past in a UK school, and he went back to the UK, he visited the old principal, and the principal asked him, what are you doing today? He explained what he does at Elevate, and the principal said, this sounds fantastic, it sounds exactly like what we need, and invited us over. And we sat down and thought about it, and we thought, well, it's a little bit odd because we're not in South Australia or Western Australia, but why not? And yeah, we decided to go for it and open up in the UK.
So the key was having that employee who knew the UK and was prepared to live there and build the business too.
Yeah, exactly right. And I guess part of it also was just jumping at the opportunity, that when we looked at it, we decided we didn't want to just use it as an excuse to go on a holiday or to do it half-hearted, that we wanted to actually, if we were going to do it, we wanted to actually do it properly. And so from the start, we really kind of geared up to have a permanent operation over there.
And how did South Africa come about?
Exactly the same way, serendipity again. One of our principals that we work with in the UK actually sat in on one of the seminars and said, this is fantastic. He was South African, and he said, this would work really well in South Africa, and said, I'd love to take you guys into South Africa. And so he went on and introduced to us about 30 odd schools over there, and that was enough to get it up and running over in South Africa as well.
Okay, so given the opportunities, and opportunities come from anywhere, you just ran with them both.
Yeah, exactly right.
Oh, that's a bit scary.
Yeah, we probably definitely did. There's an element of chance and an element of risk. But I think one of the things that we've been able to do over the last few years is really understand our business and understand where it's going to work. And as a result, that's kind of reduced the risk in the process.
So it's scalable internationally, and you've built processes to reinforce that, to build the foundation.
Exactly right. I think that level of systemization has been critical across the business. And I know systemization is often one of those terms that people think dumbs down a business, or it turns you into McDonald's. And we've found the exact opposite, that if you have really strong systems, you can train someone in the business really quickly, their confidence grows. And so it means all of a sudden, rather than someone being on the phone worrying about what do I say next, they know what they have to say, and they can actually focus on the customer and making sure the customer's got a great experience.
And study techniques, I should imagine, translate across any education system.
Exactly right. Time management, motivation, exam preparation, it's the same in any country. Obviously, you have to slightly adjust it to fit the system, but these are skills that underpin all learning, regardless of if you're in Singapore, South Africa, Australia or the UK. It's the same set of skills.
All right, I have a confession to make. I've known Doug for years and followed his business ever since it started and been fascinated how he's been able to get the business to work for him and his lifestyle rather than the other way around. I've been really amused to follow you. This business kept growing and growing, but you kept doing the things you wanted to do, like travel and things. How have you managed it?
I think it's obviously a difficult thing. I think every small business owner starts a business to have a lifestyle, and they end up getting sucked into the business because they won't delegate responsibility. And I know I definitely went through that. As a founder, you can always do everything kind of better than anyone else because you develop those systems. So whether it's packing a mail out, doing a seminar or making a sale, you tend not to delegate those things, and that's exactly what I did. And I ended up becoming a slave to the business, and it became a 24/7 commitment. And a few years into it, I sat down and created a vision of where I wanted Elevate to be in 5 years' time. And I realised I had a choice. Either I kept doing what I was doing at the time, in which case the business could simply not get any larger, or alternatively, I had to begin to delegate. And so I created a mantra of getting out of the way of the business, of really kind of trying to make myself redundant. So the big focus for me was any role I had, make myself redundant in 6 months. And because of that, I began to manage to delegate. And one of the big things I found is the more responsibility you delegate and give to people, the more empowered they become, the more buy-in they have into the business, which is what, it gives you that kind of freedom.
All right, you fell in love with a German girl, so you travel a lot. You're actually probably going to end up living in Germany, going to live in London, then live in Germany. Delegating is one thing. Actually leaving the core business to go overseas is something totally different. How have you set that up?
Again, I think we probably touched upon it. Partly having really good systems obviously helps. Having really good people is another critical element to it. I'm at the stage today where I don't lose sleep at night because of the fact we have absolutely fantastic staff. And again, I think part of the reason we have that is we inverted the thinking about how we ran the business. That again, I think a lot of small business owners focus the business on what they get out of it. So what are my dividends? What are my profits? What's my trade sale going to be? And rather than do that, we actually focused on the opportunities for staff within the business. So today we've got 120 presenters who actually conduct the seminars in schools. And these are average age 21, 22. You'll have a 21-year-old leading a team of 10 people, developing amazing commercial experience, leadership experience. Our full-time staff spend 2 years in the office, then they go out and open an international business themselves. And so the hard part of small business is always finding really good people. And I think by flipping what we were actually providing our staff, we managed to find fantastic people, retain them, and that gives you the freedom.
So by doing that, you develop an entrepreneurial culture within the organisation that staff say, hey, I can set up my own business under the Elevate umbrella and be able to grow myself. Is that the key, that cultural change?
Yeah, that's exactly right. That from the moment people come on board, we have a culture of innovation, of being able to take a risk, make a mistake and not be punished for it. So there's a toleration of failure to it. People know that they're going to be supported, so they also know they can take a risk. They can have that experience of going overseas, and even though I'm going to be overseas, I know I'll be supported by head office, wherever that is, to deal with those challenges.
And technology makes it so much easier today too, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the key elements in being able to actually watch what's happening, if you're going to delegate, you don't want to delegate blindly. You want to have, it's by following along that you can actually develop that trust. And so we use a series of kind of dashboards that provide the progress of every single office in real time. So if a business is heading off course, we know, okay, we can intervene in it immediately. So rather than waiting for problems to blow up in 6 months' time and being sucked into the business for 3 months to solve them, we can solve it quickly in a day or 2 days or by Skype. And by the same case, if the business is on track, we don't need to do anything. It frees you up so you don't have to spend that time actually being focused in the business.
Now, what's the average age of the staff?
The average age is probably somewhere between 21 and 22. To give you an idea, the three staff members we have running international businesses, the oldest is 27, the youngest is 22. So it's a really young and dynamic culture.
Okay, so for small business owners who want to do the same thing, the best tips.
Probably 4 tips. 1, get out of the way of the business. Create a do not do list. So don't spend your time constantly doing. Work out what you want to delegate and get rid of it. 2, as we said, systems. Create really robust systems that people can pick up quickly. 3, get great people. And 4, I recommend getting an advisory board or some kind of governance structure that actually forces you to do it, because it's so easy to go back into the business, and having an advisory board or a mentor or whatever forces you to actually do what you say you're going to do.
Happy travels.
Fantastic, thank you.